The Ducks vs. Blues game started pretty much the same way as last time the Ducks were in St. Louis, with the Blues dominating early. They jumped out to a 2-0 lead just 90 seconds in. Gudas drops to his knees, Lundy tries to cover his man, but then Schenn is left wide open. Then the Blues doubled their lead off a Fowler stretch pass, and Mintyukov couldn't tie up Buchnevic's stick. They nearly made it 3-0 on a 3-on-1 rush, but the post was there to save the day. Not much else happened until a questionable hit and a fight from Trouba with 2 minutes left in the first. And it's a bad hit from Trouba. The Ducks broadcast only showed 2 angles, and at first glance, the hit doesn't look as bad until you see the third angle. In the first 2, you can clearly see him launch and leave his feet, which already isn't a hockey play, but otherwise it looks like a shoulder-to-shoulder check for the most part. Similar to the Zegras suspension hit, the broadcast conveniently didn't show the worst angle. Whether intentional or not, Ducks propaganda was working overtime. It's the reverse angle from the Blues broadcast that takes the hit to another level. Initially, it looks like Trouba was aiming for a shoulder hit, but with Kyrou turning at the last second, it resulted in direct head contact. The launching motion upward is indefensible, and while I don't think Trouba was deliberately targeting his head, I wouldn't argue with anyone calling it dirty, especially given his history. Headshot, elbow, left his feet, Trouba hit the trifecta. 3 infractions, all worthy of a major in one play. It's shocking the refs somehow missed this one. And somehow, the Ducks even ended up with a power play out of it because Schenn took off Trouba's helmet in the fight. The good news is that Kyrou was pulled for concussion protocol, but returned to finish the game. It looked like he saw the hit coming at the last second and managed to get his head mostly out of the way. If this were Trouba as a Ranger hitting a Duck like that, I'd want his head. If he gets a hearing, and he absolutely should, he'll be considered a repeat offender, so I wouldn't be shocked if he gets 5 games. Now, I don't know what's worse, the hit or the Ducks play in this one. You know it's bad when their best stretch of hockey this game came on the power play. Now this might have been one of the best Ducks power play in who knows how long, aside from actually scoring of course. Excellent puck recovery in the Blues zone for the full 2 minutes, with 4 shots on goal. Unfortunately, that would be the last of the Ducks' good play.
Greg Cronin starting to mix up the lines. That was Zegras along with Leo Carlson and Alex Killorn.
Now to be fair, the second period was probably their best, at least by the shot count, as they outshot the Blues 11-4. The Ducks would get another power play, which looked like the usual Clune special. Have to feel bad for Cutter on that one, as he was high-sticked in almost the exact spot where his stitches were from the last time he was high-sticked. Afterwards, the Blues would get a power play of their own and cashed in with a one-timer off Gudas' skate. 3-0. The Ducks finally showed some life when their best line of the night went to work on the forecheck. Gudas fires a shot from the point, Gauthier gets the rebound, and while falling to the ice, he shoots it into the empty net. And for a moment, I started to think, just maybe the Ducks would get back into this game.
Gets his 13th of the year.
Low to high and get to the net. And the key here is that Gudas gets the shot through.
That turned out to be wishful thinking, though, as the Blues' fourth line responded right away. The Ducks lost the battle, left a player all alone, and no one picks up the rebound. A sentence that is starting to become synonymous for Ducks hockey. A bad power play? Now that sounds even more like Ducks hockey. The Blues added a shorty for the Ducks' 5th shorthanded goal against this season. 5 goals on just 14 shots. Youch. Now this wasn't on Dosty, but Husso would come in to start the third. And the Ducks would get another goal early. A McTavish wrister from the boards that was deflected by Cutter and then hits Nestorenko's glove on the way in. The only team Nesty scores against. Every one of his 4 career goals has been against the Blues and Bennington. Unfortunately, that would be it from the Ducks. Back-to-back Blues power plays and goals make it a touchdown as the Ducks lose their 10th straight against the Blues 7-2. Only excuse I can think of is the delayed start caused the Ducks to think they already played the game.
Blues had plane trouble after their game in Minnesota, so they didn't fly home till today. So you got to figure that those legs are going to be a little bit heavy to start this game.
The game was scheduled to be a 5 o'clock start. Because of the travel issues that the Blues encountered, they pushed it back a little bit.
It must be nice to get delayed start for travel delays. The Ducks have celebrated playing meaningful games. However, they have not found a way to take a single point out of these recent meaningful games. Ducks remain 8 points behind Vancouver, but St. Louis, Utah, and Calgary are all just 2 points out. The Ducks' playoff hopes?
It's like a magic trick. Where to go?
They disappeared, with Cronin continuing to put his fourth line out against the other team's top line. It worked once, and now he's been doing it for the last few games. Thank you, Hazy, for roasting him for this one.
The Ducks start their fourth line, and their job is to shut down the top line of the St. Louis Blues. That's the matchup that Cronin actually wants.
Up next, the Ducks face Mikko Rantanen in his first home game as a Star on Tuesday at 5 p.m., where the Ducks will be looking for the season sweep. Yes, the Ducks will be looking for the season sweep. In other news, the Ducks have recalled Stan Stolberg from the SHL. He will report directly to the goals. Ian Moore will also be joining now that his college season is over. We were planning to make a video on Solberg, but the more I looked into it, the situation was pretty straightforward. He wasn't getting much ice time, and he should have been with the goals. The only interesting part is that the Ducks could have done this months ago. The goals have been dealing with injuries for a while, so not sure why they waited until now. Oh well, I'm excited for the Solberg goals era. Thank you to our members. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and go Ducks!
The Blues got off to a real rough start. Ever since they've got a new coach behind the bench, they've kind of turned it around. 7 games over the 500 mark with the new coach.